why your Instagram ads aren't converting and how to fix them in 3 simple steps. What's going on, guys? Henry Kaminsky Jr. here from the Brand to Table podcast that is focused on helping restaurant owners and hospitality leaders really level up their marketing and brand strategies. I've been in the industry for over 16 years, specifically helping restaurant and hospitality brands create profitable strategies that really drive home the bottom line. And if you're interested in that for your venue, stick around. I have some really awesome content coming out your way with some shows that are really going to help you dial in your strategy and be able to execute them in a way that's really going to help drive revenue and drive more business. Okay, so today we're talking about Instagram ads and why they might not be working for you and how to kind of change your approach to Instagram ads to help them start generating more results for you. Now, I've been around plenty of restaurant owners, and I know that most of them have a love-hate relationship with Instagram and Facebook ads. A lot of them have spent a tremendous amount of time, money, and energy in running ads and without getting much results. They get views and they get likes, but they don't get covers. They don't get reservations. And so what we need to do is really look into that and figure out why. You know, the other thing that they typically do is, I boosted this post for $300 this month and I really didn't get much out of it. Well, yeah, because there probably wasn't a real strategy behind it. So we have to fix that before we can start to see some results. So the last thing I want you to do is burn money by running these ads without a real strategy. So let's get into some of the common mistakes and then get into how we're going to fix them. So common mistake number 1 is there's not a real clear offer to the ad itself. And you're just boosting random posts, like I mentioned before, and you're not seeing any results. So we have to fix that immediately. The next thing I see is, you send people to your restaurant's homepage and then they get lost, right? They don't know where to go next. And this is when I talk about funnel strategy. People are looking for a seamless experience and they want you to guide them in the right direction. And if you're keeping them lost or you're only getting them to the 50-yard line, that's a problem. And you're going to see the drop off and you're going to see the lack of results and the lack of conversion. So we got to fix that. The other thing that you might be doing is targeting too broad of an audience. You may think that, I'm going to go 15, 20 miles radius. I'm going to go and only focus, I'm just going to throw out a wide net and see what comes in. Well, that's the best. That's a really good way of just taking $100 bills and just burning them in your backyard. You don't want to take that approach whatsoever. And again, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to switch that and get you in the right direction. But before we get into that, I just want to go over some numbers with you. An average ad campaign is typically $500 to $1,500 in ad spend. So if you times that over 12 months, you do the math. That's a tremendous amount of money you're wasting if you're not getting this strategy dialed in before you start to run paid ads. So keep that in mind, guys. This isn't, I don't know about you, but I work really hard for every dollar I make. And I know so do you. So let's get more strategic with how we start running our paid advertising for a restaurant. So I'm going to share with you a 3-part framework, very simple to understand, that's going to help level up your paid advertising strategy. The first thing, first and foremost, is, we talked about it before, the hook. If you don't have a strong hook and offer for your campaign, then people are going to scroll right over it. Because again, there's 1,000 restaurants to choose from. Why are they choosing yours? Here's an example of a great hook we used to bump up a lunch service for one of our clients. We had an ad running, and the hook, the call to action, the headline was, DM us the word lunch and we'll get you set up with no problems at all. And next thing you know, they click the link, they type in the word lunch in the DM, and then we had this automation through a platform called ManyChat that sent them a reservation link, asked them any other further follow-up questions, and we got that reservation booked in 2-3 seconds. See, that's what I'm talking about. You start running ads like that, you're going to start to see the numbers go way up. The other thing we have to keep in mind is the funnel. I talked about this before as well. The funnel needs to be seamless. It needs to have a very clear step 1, step 2, step 3. So we used the DMs as a call to action. We used a automation called ManyChat, where once they got the reply DM, they knew exactly what to do next. And then we prompted them, book the reservation. And the reservation platform did the rest of the work. That was it. The next thing that is sort of a advanced feature of Instagram ads is retargeting. I was explaining to a client recently what retargeting is. So if you don't know what retargeting is it's a very, very sharp way of getting your messages in front of people that have already interacted with you on your social platforms or on your website. So we have what they call a retargeting pixel that Meta creates for you, that you take that little snippet of code and you put it on the back end of your website, and anybody that goes to the website will get cookied. And that cookie will stay on their device for 180 days. So when we go to run ads, we could select that audience. We want people that hit our website over the last 180 days. So anybody that hit that site will get our ad shown to them. The other targeting mechanism is if they interacted or landed on our Instagram account or Facebook account, we can target those people. And so that's another way to retarget. We could select that audience target when we're building the ads on the back end. Now, I don't expect you to do these. If you have somebody like myself that can help you set all this up, listen, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you. This is what we do for our clients. We take all this legwork out of your operations so you can focus on the ops and we can actually focus on what we do and what we love the most. And it's this stuff, right? But this retargeting feature is really helpful because you're getting in front of the people that have seen you already. And it's no different than having touch points at your restaurant. 3-4 touch points, 3-4 visits to your restaurant, and they become raving fans. So it's the same strategy here. And it's a great way to follow up with guests. We develop some very specific campaigns for follow-up only that speak to people because we know they've been to the restaurant before. So when they get an ad that says, "Oh, how was your last visit?" They're like, "How'd you know that?" Right? But that's the power of strategy. That's the power of technology as well. So we're leveraging this technology in our campaigns these days, and it's really showing some really great result. I want to share with you another really cool case study that we recently did for one of our clients. Fine dining restaurant, has been around for 10 years, but they still struggle with covers. They still struggle with getting those numbers consistent, right? So then they came to me and said, our goal, our objective to bringing you on is to get more reservations, more covers into the restaurant. Okay, fine, I get that. So asked a few questions like, what kind of strategies are you running right now? Well, we haven't really posted in 8 months. We don't really have something that we rinse and repeat. We've been doing this local special here and there, and, we get some drips and drabs, but what we found out was we have trained our audience to only order those specials and only come for those specials. And I don't know about you, but that's not a good look on the bottom line for the restaurant, right? So I said, all right, let's think of a way to create some engagement with our social media and Facebook accounts that will get some people interested without like driving down their throats to book a reservation. Like, you want to dance with people before you ask them to move in with you, or you want to date people before you ask them to marry you. And I think this is a great way to create an engaging experience with guests before they even come into the restaurant. So I've been using AI now for the past 2 years and have gotten really, really deep into understanding how it works and how to leverage it, not only for my business, but for my clients. So what I realized was there's some really cool tools inside of AI that you can create to create these dynamic experiences. So one of the things that this particular restaurant has that not a lot of restaurants have is a tremendous wine list. And a lot of people come for the wine and the steak. And the big question always is like, what kind of wine do I pair with what steak, and what's going to go well with seafood, etc. Right? So I created this wine concierge AI tool. And what I did was I customized it. So I uploaded the restaurant's menus, wine menus, dinner menus. One thing that this restaurant had that a lot of restaurants didn't have was an extensive wine list. And they've gotten some awards for their wine list. And I figured, let's use something like that to make them stand out, right? So with AI, I created this customized GPT specifically for the restaurant, and I called it the Wine Concierge. And what I did was I uploaded the restaurant's wine menu, I uploaded the restaurant's food menu, and also uploaded all the data I collected from them when I did my initial onboarding with them. So I understood who their customers were. I understood who they were trying to target. I understood the brand's point of view and what they were trying to do. So I put all that information into this custom GPT and created this bot, if you will. So now when you go to the restaurant's Instagram and you DM them the word wine, there's a few prompts that show up that actually instruct the user to ask a question, or they can put in their own question. And this GPT will send out a customized response with their specific wine selection, with their specific food selection, with a call to action at the end of it all to book a reservation for the restaurant. And so now they have their whole experience mapped out before they even get to the restaurant. That's huge. No other restaurant is doing that right now. And I know when this catches fire, it's going to go crazy. So if you want to get ahead of this before everybody else does, hit me up and we could talk about how I could set this up for your restaurant, and we're going to set it on fire. So what we do is when that DM comes in, we capture an email address. So I'm always thinking, how am I going to build my list for this restaurant so we can market to these folks later on? So that's what we do. So they DM the word wine, we get their email address, then we give them this really cool tool, and then they get to play with it. And then the call to action at the end is book your reservation today. So this is a really cool way we're leveraging technology. Now you could run Instagram ads to this as well, which we're doing with a couple other accounts to really drive home the usage of this tool. And that's how we're taking this technology and we're rolling it into Instagram ads and really seeing a huge, huge lift in bookings. Because again, I'm thinking, how do we leverage social media to get more bookings? Not how do we leverage social media to get more likes, to get more follows, to get more views. That's not my interest. My interest is how do we get more butts in the restaurant? All right, so as we wrap up here, let's ask ourselves a couple of things. One is, what's our hook for our offers that we're running? Is it strong enough? Does it interrupt a pattern? Does it stop people from scrolling? Or is it just vague and mush, right? Second is our funnel. When people click on the ad, where are they going? Are we directing them in the right direction and getting them to that reservation link without any hiccups? So if you follow those two takeaways and start to implement those, I guarantee you're going to see a huge improvement on how your Instagram ads perform. I think you're going to be like, damn, I should have known this. But listen, I get it. You're busy operating a restaurant. Marketing's not your thing. Or why didn't my social media guy know all of this? I get it. Not everybody gets this stuff and eats, drinks, and sleeps it like I do and my team does. So again, if you need help with this, let me know. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Feel free to visit the website, brandtotable.com. We'll schedule a time to chat and we'll really get you dialed in and get you the help that you need. Because listen, Instagram ads is a phenomenal way to increase awareness and to get more covers booked. If you're not using Instagram ads properly, you could burn a ton of money very quickly, and nobody wants that, right? So if you're enjoying the show, please subscribe, drop a review, share it with a restaurant buddy or somebody that could get value out of the content that I'm dropping. And don't forget to hit me up on social media. Like I said, I'm typically on Instagram the most. So drop me a DM, give me some feedback. Let me know if you have a question that you want me to answer on the show. I'm happy to review and create an episode out of it. So again, if you need help with this stuff, I'm here for you. Hit me up at brandtotable.com and we'll get you going in the right direction. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next episode real soon. Take care.